Today is a very special Decide Your Destiny interview with Kyle himself, who records all the videos, but I decided to take Kyle's interview because that's going to be really, really special.
Videos. Videos.
But he's correcting me in the middle of this. That's okay.
I want to help.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
The thing is, I'm Indian and we don't have the difference between W and we in our vocabulary, and that's why I mess it up all the time. But now I'm learning.
It's velvet instead of velvet. Velvet. And violet. Velvet, violet. And video. I love my videos.
We're going to jump back to the topic. That's going off track, and that's not what we're going to talk about. No, we're not going to teach you any.
What's the verdict? Tell me the verdict. What are we doing?
The verdict is we're going to record this video about Kyle's heart, which is a really special topic because Kyle records all these videos, and so many people would have heard this story because I think you have spoken about it, isn't it, Kyle?
Yeah, I've gone out there a little bit on some podcasts, and yeah.
And do many people cry?
Yeah, when I've had people edit the book in person, have a look at the one section in the book, Heart and Soul.
Yes.
Yeah, and then when I've done podcasts, I've had people have to pause, and then people tell me that when I was telling the story, they kind of lost their trajectory and they just went with it, and they forgot the time, and the podcast went way long. So yeah, so I think I guess for me, I don't realise that it's such a shifting story because it's my story and it's something I lived through, and that means a whole lot to me in one way, but then in another way, it's like, I don't know, it's just real to me, where to other people it kind of seems unreal.
Wow, that's really special, because when I heard the story, it was really hard for me to listen through that, because I could feel every emotion as an empath, and if you are one as well, when you're listening to I listen to anybody, but when it's something so deep, I start feeling everything. And this morning we were doing this amazing BX meeting that Kyle leads in Fremantle here, and
shouts out everywhere.
I know, join BX.
Shouting out Decide Your Destiny, shouting out BX.
Well, you have to join us, because if you're loving this, why
George
wouldn't you be
Quarters.
a part of the family?
Yeah. T4,
I know, be a part of the family. So, and he was telling this for his 10-minute round, and I was this close to crying again.
Oh no.
This close, I had to start eating the breakfast really quickly so that I
Because so tip at home, if you're going to cry, eat breakfast.
Eat faster.
Eat faster, sorry.
Eat faster, because your brain gets distracted. Now instead of going all the way, so this is about Kyle's heart, and I'm Prati, founder of T4 and a tea taster. It's a lost art, tea tasting, and with this gift that I've got, I decided to do something really, really special, is to create specialized tea that connect with the story really deep, connect with that business really deeper. I would then decide to work with them, and I would create a blend dedicated with them, taking their interviews and listening to the stories, and that blend will have every element that resonates with them, and also takes them back to the taste and the flavors of happiness. So
I love that.
Here, and when I heard that story about Kyle's heart, I interviewed him for T4. My next dream project, whenever Kyle's ready, is to create Kyle's heart tea, and that's what we are talking about. And I think this will be one of the biggest projects as I can visualize it, because I have worked with businesses with stuff like they want to take something back to nostalgia from their country, or I've worked with individuals who just want to experience something really different. But something like this is a connection to so many people, so many hearts that have suffered the way Kyle has, and it's not easy to come out of what Kyle has come out of. So how can you tell us a little bit about, just in a few sentences, that in your journey, what has been the most important part while you were going through it? And can you tell people a little bit about your heart condition?
Sure, yeah. So I'll try and do it in a few sentences. Belief is the most important thing all the way through. I think there's many dark times, and I had, my story real quickly. I came home one night, I wasn't feeling well, I had these hot flushes. Next night I went to the fridge to get some ice. I collapsed on the ground on tiles, and I was laying there for about 20 minutes, conscious, didn't know what to do. Went to the doctor the next day, got some, told them what was going on. They said, look, I think you got gastro, take these tablets. Went home, vomited the tablets up, kept going, and I kept getting sicker and sicker and vomiting, and coming out both ends. And I was getting like that sort of foggy sickness where you don't really have a peripheral vision, you can't really see what's going on. It's kind of like a vignette around your eyes. And I got taken out to my grandparents' house because I wasn't staying with them at the time, and I went to my uncle. He saw me, he said, look, this guy's got a virus, I can see it in him, like, you need to take him to the doctor. If the doctor doesn't take him to the hospital, you take him to the hospital, his body's being attacked. And then I went to the doctor, lovely Chinese doctor. He used to be my doctor for years when I was going through some other hard times, getting this book titled Hope, and it had these quotes and these lovely landscapes, and he looked at the tips of my fingers and he said, see these red dots? I said, yeah. He said, that means you've got an infection on your heart, and basically you need to get to the hospital right now because this is life or death. And I went to the hospital. Whilst I was there, so rushed an ambulance. I was there, and I was saying I can't go to the toilet. To my family, they got the nurse over. The nurse looked at my paperwork and went, "What the hell are you doing? You're supposed to go straight through to ICU. I don't know why they didn't put you through ICU. The reason you can't excrete is because your organs are shutting down." And then then they took me through. Cardiologist looked at me and said, "Look, we're going to put a pipe down your throat, and we're going to put you into an induced coma." And I was so sick at the time, so I was like, "Okay, yep, sure, right, that sounds good. Whatever, man, whatever, doc." And then, then I was in an induced coma, and my mother made a call, which I'm very grateful for, and spoke to my stepfather. And he was really important in my life, and he had a lot of understanding about natural health and natural healing as a chiropractor, but he was also a kinesiologist, and he had a few different modalities. And she always trusted him with these sorts of situations. Now, the reason she called him is because there were two decisions to make. I was put in a induced coma, and we could operate, or we could leave me to see if I wake up out of the coma. But it didn't look like either was going to work. At that time, I had a 3 centimeter bug basically eating a hole into my heart, and and it was the doctors said to my family, like, "Look, I don't think he's going to make it through the night." So I can't imagine what they went through. And then Ward made this call over the phone and said, "Look, you're there, you decide. But my opinion would be he's too weak to operate on." My mother flew him over. My mother and the family flew him over quickly. Everyone brought him over, and he was there a week later. So my whole family was around me. He came through, and he said, "Carl, the situation, you got this bug on your heart. Every moment you could die."
Wow.
Yeah, because it's.
So when you hear that you can die any moment, but you're listening to it, it must be the hardest thing to listen, because it's.
I think for me it was like, it really took. I think there's times in life where it takes a while for your head to get around what's happening. Like, this happened. I think like maybe another thing I can put it to is like when you have a breakup and you didn't see it coming, or when a friend bullies you, changes teams and bullies you, or whatever it is. Like, there's multiple times in life, but
you haven't processed you.
Yeah, it's like
you haven't processed it.
I could not process it.
Yeah,
and I think I was, and he did a great job of bringing me into reality and going, no, this isn't a dream. This isn't. A night, well, not a dream, a nightmare, but this is reality. You need to do something about it. And so he said, "Look, this is the medical way. We're going to go so you can go have surgery right now. They're going to cut a big part of your heart off, and then you're going to have to put an attachment onto your heart. You're going to have to live like this for the rest of your life. This is how you're going to be compromised. This is how it's going to affect your life." I was 18 at the time, and he said, "There is another option, and I want you to be informed of both sides." He said, "You can go to the medical route, you just got to sign a lot of lines." He gave me all the paperwork, and he said, "Or you can try this thing called the alkaline diet." And so I said, "All right, tell me more about that." He said, "Basically what it is, it's a juice fast. You have high alkaline juice fast, you change the ecosystem of your body, basically change the environment of your body. And the premise, the idea is that it will drive the bug out of the body. So what's going on in the body, the bug's got sugars, it's got carbohydrates, it's got proteins, it's got all these things that are sustaining its survival, and you're just going to strip all that back. Obviously, you get proteins from your spinach, your amino acids. You get amino acids. That's what you're looking for, rather. So, so do this juice diet, and that's the premise of it. And I said, all right, I don't really know about this. I don't really trust it. I'm, indoctrinated, like all of us really are.
Yeah.
We're all very indoctrinated for most of our lives. And I went, I haven't heard of this, but let's give it a go. And then, I took the chance. And what proceeded was weeks of doing visualizations over my heart, saying heal, listening to tapes. My grandmother gave me tapes, peaks and valleys. That's all I remember. Vitamins, all sorts of things, and just juices, beetroot juices, salads, beetroot juices, spinach, kale, all that sort of stuff. Just consuming that. Very hostile environment in the hospital, obviously, because you're going against the old guard. You're going against.
That's something really important for the viewers to listen, that they put you into a very hostile environment. They don't really support you if you're going through something, and you choose the natural way. You choose the nature to heal you. Like what I want to do with Kyle, making a Kyle's Heart tea. But if you're choosing a nature's path, you're not very supported, and you're already not in a good mental state, because you know what you're going through, and you have thin chances of survival. And then the bullying from the hospital must not be easy to go through.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. I mean, long story short, 3 weeks later, I got rid of the bug. So we changed, the doctor came and said, "Oh, we're going to operate." And we said, "Wait, what's the numbers? What's the numbers?" He wouldn't give it to us, and it was like pulling teeth. We had to get it out of him, and he showed us, and it was at 0.2 centimeters. So he said, if it goes to 0.5 centimeters, it's not an issue. So we were like so happy, we were cheering. He walked out there like swearing and upset. Through the hospital, I had nurses trying to throw my vitamins in my bin. I had nurses telling me, who do I think I am, going against Prof's wishes? Who do I think I am, trying to take my own health into my own hands? Really hostile environment, and I grew up pretty, not gullible, but like everyone, like every doctor's good, every policeman's good, every every official's a good person, like really warped sense of reality. And I'm sure there's good intentions, and I'm sure they did have good intentions. They just knew how to fix the problem their way, and there was no conjunction of the two sides of the fence. It's one against the other, and if you're on this side, you're a kook, you're a loony, you're a din bat, whatever. So I had to experience all that, and then when I left the hospital, I was being pushed out in a wheelchair, and I made this like awesome Somalian friend. Through the time in the hospital, like we became really good buddies, because he was the doctor's register. So I saw him all the time, and obviously the doctor didn't want to see much of me. He came to me right towards the end. I was being pushed out in a wheelchair to leave the hospital, and I got this hand on my shoulder, and I felt this hand squeak my shoulder, and I turned around and it was him. And I said, "Oh, see you later, mate. It's been great, getting to know you and having, seeing you." And he said, "Oh, look, I'm just here to deliver a message." I went, "Okay, shoot." He said, "Prof just wants you to know that your lungs are going to be full of blood. You're going to choke to death in your sleep within 2 months." And I just started crying, and the person pushing me, the family member, I just waved at them. I was like, "Keep going, get me the hell out of this place." So that was my experience.
Wow, that's intense. What I've heard so far just tells me that how much of our medical system is against natural healing, or understanding the environment of your own body. Like I can say that somebody or doctors are definitely entitled to understand the anatomy of every human body, and they have healed thousands and thousands of people. So all respect to them.
Yes, we're giving respect to them. They've done a lot. Yeah,
absolutely. But there is there is a fine line between people making a choice of how they want to treat their bodies as well, and that's something to be respected back as well. And when Carl is making a choice to go an alkaline diet, or to accept nature, embrace nature, to actually feel that difference and respect the nature at the same time. So if we respect their ways of treating human body, a human should be entitled to make choices and in choices in a positive choices. Like if he has an instinct, or if he has a gut feeling that this will work better for me.
Well, be the governor of your own life. Be the authority over your own life.
Be the authority of your own life.
Give so much authority away. We and the thing is, you know, everyone does a good job, and people should be commended for the amazing job they do.
Professionals should be commended for what they're doing.
But there's a line between a god,
yeah.
like a praising, like a complete like cult, like religion of this person can do no wrong, and I just believe in this, and there's no other way. Because I can look at the natural side and this, you know, spiritual side or soulful side and see, oh, there's a charlatan there, there's a charlatan there. Oh, I'm not too sure about that premise. I wouldn't use that in this situation. So that lack of criticizing or being aware, like it's actually a total lack of awareness. It's like this whole hypnotic conversion of this way or no way.
I totally understand. I totally agree. I mean, there are stories that I can tell back in India that what I've seen. And look, I've been cured by some excellent doctors of my, like I remember from my childhood. So I've never had bad experiences. But it's the faith experience that I'm talking about, that for the smallest thing people get addicted, that I have to go to my doctors because I'm not feeling well. I have to do this to the doctors. I have to go to the pharmacy. I have to get this written. But it's not every little thing has to be cured straight going, like, you know, getting addicted to the medications or blind faith. You can take charge of some aspects of your life, and you are entitled to follow some of your gut instinct. And here I'm not promoting anything in terms of like go against the medicine, but you know what I'm saying. So rather than making this controversial, try and understand the fine line that we are saying, that we respect choices. And
question the fact that we even have to really reiterate that point. I'm trying not to offend. I don't want. You know, it's kind of funny that you know there's an untouchable, and I think there's this. I can't remember who made the quote, but it was something like, you know, if you want to look at who's in charge, look at who you can't offend. And I think it's kind of just being aware of, hey,
wow,
you know,
I've never heard that before, but I love it. But if you want to see who's in charge, look who can't offend. And like we are so concerned right now that we're not offending the medical system, but we're just saying what we have to because this is necessary, and that's why we're recording this. And
speaking your truth and sharing the messages that hopefully help.
Pretty much sharing the real experience, like Carl's real story. That there is no, like, you know, he's telling exactly how he felt. Like he came out with tears and he wanted to get out of the dark space, and who wouldn't? Like, you know, and that's why he's just sharing what he felt.
Yeah, and that's the point. It's not me some miraculous. I had someone in my life who came in and was a hero at that time.
Yeah.
And if we look back at history, Peruvians, like I've gone to, you know, I've experienced that culture through some of my South American connections, and the fact is they look at natural healing first. Most ailments, obviously, if you cut your finger off, there's certain, you know, decisions where you go, yep, medical first. But most of the time they look natural. How can I assist my body to heal? Because look at itself. You'll cut your hand today and your body will naturally heal. So many things your body will naturally heal. So they go, how can I assist my body in healing itself first? And then from that, okay, maybe it hasn't worked. Now let me see what else I can do. But those Peruvians, there's skull DNA taken from them and they lived to 120 years. How many medicated white folk, you know, whatever color you are, but how many maybe the white was the wrong word, Western folk, do you see?
Right. I'm not, but he is.
I'm olive, who knows? Who knows what it is? DNA data taken from their skulls were living to 120. Do you know what I mean? And when I was there, this lady's father, who's in his 70s, was playing soccer on the field, 70-year-old. And that whole premise of natural first, assist the body, assist the health, don't rely on those sorts of things, which has been hard for me because I've obviously I've had to have some things, you know, obviously I had to have some surgeries and some things.
You had to have some surgeries, definitely. Yeah. And that's what we're saying, the fine line of yin and yang, the balance of yin and yang, the balance of recognizing the nature that it works for you, understanding and trusting your body that it works for you, and at the same time understanding that when you need the medical system and not blind following and allowing that toxicity to be a part of your journey. Taking the toxicity out is also your right. So that's what the message that we and that's what I wanted to create. Like the Carl's Heart tea that I want to brand, powered by T4ia, and I messaged Carl a few days back to my dream project because it came to me, and I thought like it's gonna be a dream project, not because I'm gonna tell people that it's a medical tea, drink it and heal your heart. No, but heal your heart chakra. Uplift your energies, and
there's a lot of levels to healing.
Yes, there's a lot of levels to healing. There's mental healing, there's physical healing, and then there is spiritual healing. And the teas that I want to make for him, at least will have combined ingredients of all of them. It's got the energy behind it of his story, so it's empowered by his stories. It's got the right foundations, and it's
emotionally healing too. That's
emotionally healing.
Yeah.
It's got it will have elements and ingredients that are wonderful for calming and mentally being aligned with yourselves, and then heart chakra healing. So red ingredients and all the red ingredients and green ingredients that are really aligning with heart chakra, and surprisingly the root. And at the same time, elements, like as I said, physical. So elements that Kyle mentioned to me now, I've actually made a whole notepad that what vitamins is necessary for him, so high in beetroot, greens, and what kind of greens, the specific greens that he thinks that would be really
CoQ10, hawthorn berry, looking even at selenium, there's many things, pomegranate.
And I think you also said beetroot. I mentioned beetroot, something really red. And I think I'm gonna have all those elements in it because they are the ones that helped Kyle heal mentally, physically, and as I said, like the colors would work for the chakras, the emotional story behind the foundations will work mentally, and then the elements that will include all the elements that Kyle is requiring with the greens and the I can't remember the medical terms that he said, but we're going to do a lot of research behind it and create that tea. So that's something that would be great for someone to just have a cup and just feel that alignment with him or relate to that story. Then your choice is your choice. We do 100% recommend that, and we're just sending this message out that we care for you, and you have the right to heal yourself.
Heartwarming tea. I think just one thing to inject. I heard something last night in this book, Inner Engineering, and it was discussing how we are all energy just showing up in different ways, and it was saying how science now backs this, that we are all different elements and quantities and volumes. We're all energy just showing up and translating in different ways, and you think about, and that's where you can look at it and go, oh wow, it's all related, it's all connected, everything's connected. And the heart thing, looking at that and healing your own heart and those sorts of things, connected directly to speaking your truth and uncovering truth and speaking truth. And the core message is that,
Absolutely. You can feel the heaviness in your heart sometimes when you're not able to speak your truth.
Yeah.
You can have
where you're shut down, you're told to shut up. Yeah.
And even communication becomes difficult for you because you're trying to find words, because you're trying to compensate something, you're trying to fill a gap. But what if you speak your truth? Red is red and black is black and white is white, and that's when you're not hiding something. And when you're vulnerable, you're in the most powerful position.
Yes.
Vulnerability brings you to the most powerful position. Do not be afraid to be vulnerable. Do not be afraid to be out and open and naked, because that's when no one can hurt you anymore. You're already given what you have, and they become drop down the weapons, and that's the message. And wrapping that up, I would say that everything comes back to belief. So the tea that I want to create, it's a belief in itself rather than a tea. So yes, it'll include all the elements that's necessary for the arts, but it's also a belief that we're gonna create something that will be a beautiful healing journey for Kyle. And if he believes in it enough, it's like the placebo effect. Like people have spontaneously healed their cancer. If you believe it enough, a glass of water will work with you as well. But yes, we're trying to put science behind this tea. So
it becomes easier to believe in for a longer duration of time, probably. But
you know what I mean. If you believe that this water is holy, I've seen magical results. And yes, we're backing the tea up with science just because we want to pour in everything that we can, rather than selling holy water. This is what I want to say.
Well, I think one of the core messages as well it comes to for me would be. And doing this tea with you, and thank you very much. I don't know if I said thank you to partnering with me and then being able to make that impact and put that out into the world, creating the space and the opportunity. And I think we've got to create space and opportunity for hearts to heal all around the world. And the main premise behind it is once you go deeper into your heart and your soul and have awareness over your heart and your soul, you become less of an effect to material things in our universe, and you're able to operate as a soul. You know, Prati was talking about being vulnerable, being authentic, being truth, speaking your truth, standing in your light, regardless of how many people berate or want to call you whatever names, or your fears that maybe won't come to fruition, but they're fears in your head that's holding you back, that hold you back every day. Yeah, it's about standing in your light with your heart and soul, and the deeper you go into your heart and soul and realize all the greatness is within, and uncovering that.
I have this vision, like one day every single person, whether a heart condition or not, but a heart chakra is like, you know, speaking your truth is resonating with everybody, not just anybody who has a heart condition. So I visualize everybody one day scooping up their tea and like coming together and like drinking Carl's Heart Tree, a tribute to like Carl's story. So that, I just visualize every single person in this world doing that, and that to me is connecting heart chakra. And I think Carl's heart is big enough to have everyone involved.
They actually told me medically my heart is really big.
Yeah. So. Oh, see? Oh, yeah.
Not always a good thing. No. I'm joking.
No, but I'm trying to, like, you know, a joke or a light Yes.
It previews the kind of the congestion, because your heart can get congested and your mind can get congested, and you know and
it's okay to make a joke about it. Yeah. You know, it's all right.
Yeah. You got to find, and the thing about the heart is what was affected was the valve. You know, you think about the valve was being attacked. You know, and the valve does a job of holding the blood when it needs to hold it and letting the blood go. You know, and I think that's what we need to do if I'm gonna, you know, the dichotomy there, or if I'm gonna use it in another way is you know, the energy that we hold in our chest, in our heart. I really do believe that I got sick because of holding negative energy, hurt, people very close to me, the closest people in your life, holding me down and choking me down, physically, literally, and that affected me in so many different ways. And the emotional torment affected my heart, affected my health. And it's like I wasn't able to release that valve because I believed it was everything. I was dealing with everything. I think that just goes out to everyone's heart.
Yeah.
We all think what we're dealing with is everything in the whole world. There's hearts and souls that are dealing with the exact same things, something, you know, a bit different, a tweak of it or something, but everyone's going through things. And if you connect to your own heart, you can connect to everyone's heart. You know?
Absolutely. We're all going through the same journey. The feeling is exactly, the stories might be different. So my story is different from Carl's story. And it's nowhere similar, but there's so many similarities in so many ways. We are not touching those points because they are totally different ways why we are connected. But people come together for a reason.
Yeah.
And if I'm like,
because it connects to their heart.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what we're trying to do. So like, you know, that'll be a dream come true where everyone takes their cup and drinks together.
I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys will join us in a cup of tea, hey?
I know. You're
going to make something amazing.
It's going to make something amazing, like a nice red carpet that says Carl's Heart Tea. Like, I don't know.
Oh, wow.
It'll be fun.
It's going to be exciting. Thank you, Prati.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
It was the best one ever.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Bloopers included.
Bloopers included. Bloopers.com.au. Okay, it's on. You're ready to go. Make it quick, make it snappy. Let's go.
Okay. Hi everyone. Today we are not at Decide Your Destiny. Actually we are. No, I'll start again.
Every day is Decide Your Destiny Day.
I know.